Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Munce Report as we preview all the weekend's racing action and bring you all the latest stable news. Well, he's back in the hot seat this week. Trainer Chris Munce joins us again, back to his usual position after passing the baton to Al Russell last week. And you were lucky to get your job back. He did a great job. The numbers were up. The feedback was good. And even though we all know he's not the biggest talker, Al, he did a great job in your absence.
Oh, I knew he would. I put a lot of faith in him. He's a man of very few words, but you certainly listen to what he has to say. He's a very smart man, and he knows a lot about his horses. So I knew that he'd handled the job quite well.
He certainly did. So well done, Al. We'll get you back on another time. So good stuff. And mate, the winners just keep coming. Well done on another week of strong results. 3 more winners into the mix with Brannigan Metro Wednesday meeting at the Gold Coast. And then a Dolby double, 1 more PINOT and Black Widow. And that brings you now into 4th place on the Queensland Trainers Premiership with 31.5 winners at a strike rate of just under 20%. So going from strength to strength.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with how they're racing. And I think the whole art of it, Adam, is placing them. I mean, we took the horses out to Dolby there to get wins into them. They were horses that probably had to be placed to advantage, and I think by taking him out there, they won their race, and certainly 1 more PINOT will go a lot better than that. He's a horse that I always had a bit of an opinion of, but I just wanted to get a bit of confidence into him, and taking him out there, I think was a great idea. He got a win under his belt, and I'm sure that'll help him going forward. And the other horse, well, he's just a real beauty, Black Widow. He tries. He's a genuine, honest little galloper. And, as I said, once you get a bit of confidence into these horses, sometimes they go above and beyond their natural ability. And also, we were a bit stiff that day. We probably could have went close to having 4 winners. Dago was narrowly beaten at Caloundra up there in what was a pretty strong race. And Boom Nova, she ran first up for 8 months and was a very, very creditable 3rd. So, overall, I was very happy with how they all raced last Friday.
Yeah, certainly don't give up on those two to anyone out there that watched those runs, and there was definitely context behind both of them, wasn't there? And Brannigan at the Gold Coast as well. He obviously had to do it tough, facing the breeze, but Larry didn't panic. He obviously had the wide draw and got stuck out there, but Larry didn't panic. The experience paid off. He didn't, overuse him early, and he was able to finish off strongly.
Yeah, well, look, this horse, Brannigan, he's always showing me a hell of a lot of ability from day one. From the first day I jumped him out. But he just, I suppose the best way to describe him, he's lost his way a little bit. He just sort of took a while to pick it up and realise what racing was all about. He thought it was a big game, and he had a few little growing pains, and just immaturity sort of, I think, held him back early days. But I put him away at the end of last prep after a strong 3rd in a maiden there, just thinking that he wasn't fully mature. And certainly this time round, he's come back and he's put in 2 very, very good runs. And his work leading into Wednesday was quite strong. He galloped with Boom Sarah there the other week, and he'd worked quite strongly on the track. So I knew going into this race he was going to be quite competitive. Certainly, my heart was in my mouth when I seen him sitting 3 deep. But I mean, when you got riders like Larry Cassidy on who are confident in their horse and their own ability, well, that's they can get away with being able to do things like that.
Yeah, very good. Well done to the horse and potentially another one in that mix, I guess, isn't it? That, obviously placed well enough to get the result. But, you'd think once the win comes, a bit of confidence, and who knows from here. So congratulations to the big group of owners in Brannigan and also the other 2 horses. Okay, well, let's see if the team can add any more winners to the tally this weekend. It's week 3 of the Queensland Summer Racing Carnival at Doomben on Saturday, and you've got one of the big race players in Kavak who lines up as one of the main chances in the winning Rupert Plate, worth $125,000. Interestingly, you trialled him at Doomben on Tuesday as his final tune-up, and he was right there with the race favourite, and obviously has the form on the board heading into this.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, why can't he win? I mean, his form this time round's been super. He won his first 2. He was narrowly beaten the other day in a very, very fastly run race. It was set up for a horse to come from back and run on. Certainly the barriers have gone against him once again on Saturday. He's drawn 9 of 11 or something, 9 of 12. And it's not ideal, but he meets these horses a lot better at the weights. Instead of him having to carry 59 now, they're at set weights. And this horse, he just keeps getting better and better. So I'm quite confident that he'll race very well there on Saturday. Certainly Shooting for Gold is a threat he trialled very good there on Tuesday. I thought he got back and hit the line quite strongly. But there again, the trial was set up for him. They went very fast. They ran quite fast time, and he was able to rally home late. So, I think they're probably the two main dangers in that race, in all honesty. And I'm not just saying that because Kavak's my horse. I just think he's in good form. And Larry knows him well. And as I said, he's just gone from strength to strength. So there's certainly, in my opinion, he's the one they have to beat.
And good value at $7 then, by the sounds of it. There's not too much between those horses based on their trial anyway. So could be a good little each way bet.
Yeah, well, I think so. How can you knock his form? It's very difficult to knock his form. He's won twice with 59 kilos and was narrowly beaten the other day with 59 when he was giving him 5 and 6 kilos. So he drops to level weights on a fast track. He'll run fast time, and they'll have to be on their song to beat him.
I like it. Sounds like a good push to me, Mr. Munce. So very good. We move over to race 7, which is the Class 6 plate. The other two runners engaged here on the program are Widespread and Lucky Jackson. They worked around at track work together on Tuesday. How are they both heading into this? I guess they're a little bit at different ends of their preparation. Obviously, Widespread, he sort of steps up to the 1350 third up, and Lucky Jackson is first up here, and I guess you'd want to see him sort of hitting the line.
Yeah, well, Lucky Jackson, he's as we know, a mile, sort of 2,000 metre horse resuming. He's had 2 trials. He's fit enough to go to the races. Certainly, you could never put a line through him, even though he's 45 to 1 or 50 to 1 or whatever he is. I certainly, you can never discount good quality gallopers, which I believe he is. But certainly, the distance doesn't really suit him, and he's just kicking off his preparation. But Widespread, on the other hand, as you said, he's 3 runs in now. He's drawn beautifully. I think the 1350 suits, and Justin's allowance will also help him going into this race. So he's drawn to get the right run. And I do think with him there, he's certainly a major threat in the race.
Yeah, I noticed, obviously, he was a Godolphin horse raced down in Victoria over, 1,100, 1,200. Do you think the 1350 will be up his alley?
Yeah, they took him to Perth to run him in the mile, the steer stakes. So he obviously gave them the impression he would stay in those things. And I think he's a high cruising speed horse. I think he's an on-speed horse. The other day, he looked all over the winner. I just thought his condition blew out the last 100 metres. So, as I said, he's drawn well. I think the 1350 suits, and he should get the right run to give him every chance.
Very good. Well, we'll see how both of those gallopers go. We then move over to Friday's Sunny Coast meeting, where you have Thrasher, who's third up here and up to the mile after 2 good runs to kick off her preparation. Another one that's drawn wide, but I guess maybe doesn't matter as much for her, sort of settling back in the field.
I don't think it worries her. I think with her, she just needs good speed on. If there's good speed in the race, she'll certainly be getting home hard. She is an extremely good galloper, this filly on the track. It's frustrating for me that she hasn't won a maiden by now, but certainly she's been looking to get out to a trip. I believe she'll get out to 2,000 or beyond. But I'm really looking forward to getting her out to the mile there tomorrow night. I thought her run at the Gold Coast the other day was terrific, coming from second to last and only getting beat a length or 3 parts of a length up the fence, getting home hard. So I think the mile suits. She's probably going to need a bit of a good ride from Larry from the draw, but she'll be certainly one of the closers. And if the race is run at a good speed, she'll be getting home hard.
Yeah, interesting to see her up to this distance and on the big Sunshine Coast track. We then move over to last start winner Galvarino, who was also entered for Ipswich, but you've elected to go to the Sunshine Coast option with him. It's a benchmark 65 handicap over the 1,600 metres, barrier 7 for Larry Cassidy.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of a harder race, but in ratings-wise, but form-wise, I didn't think they were all that much better. And I just think that he's looking for the mile. He hit the line strongly the other day at Bow Desert and won his race. I just think that he does race well at Caloundra. And I think if Larry can ride him similarly to what he did 2 starts back there when he ran second at Caloundra, he'll run another very good race. He's in good form, this guy. He looks terrific, and he's holding his form quite well. So, although he's getting up in grade, he's certainly improving fitness-wise and ability-wise. And
this distance is up his alley also?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we tried him over 2,000 last time in, but I think a mile is his ideal trip. That mile 1,400, I think, is his ideal trip. So I'm sure he'll give us a good sight on the weekend.
Very good. Well, two good chances heading to the Sunshine Coast by the sounds of it. We then move over to the Gold Coast program. You did accept with two runners here in Smart Meteor and SAKURA Star, but Smart Meteor's entered also for the Gold Coast on the Sunshine Coast on Sunday. So let's preview SAKURA Star. You scratched her previously last week, just waiting for a better race option and a better barrier. Unfortunately, she's drawn wide in barrier 14, but will come in with a few emergencies there.
Yeah, sure. She drew very well on Wednesday, and it was a shame to have to give away barrier 4, but it was quite a strong race. The first and second horses are two quality maideners, and we sort of knew that, and I don't know whether she would have been able to beat those two home anyway. She might have run a nice third or fourth, but having said that, I thought this race on Saturday suited her better with the 1,100 metres than the 1,200 anyway. So, we were gambling on a good gate, but we didn't get it. But I would suggest that she'll still have to go around. She's in good form, this filly. She's had 2 trials. She's very well in herself, and she really needs to get her preparation going. So I would be recommending that we run, but the final call will be made up to the owners. But she is nominated for Wednesday at Ipswich if she doesn't run on Saturday at the Gold Coast. So, but she's in good form, and wherever she goes, she'll race well.
Very good. And she's, of course, a Rubik filly, 3-year-old, I guess a progressive filly, ran into Isotope on debut and has some pretty good form. And you've had a bit of an opinion there. So interesting to see how she goes.
Yeah, well, she's just a very nice maiden. Like her runs last time in to get some good quality fillies was solid. It was a first-class effort. So you'd like to hope a maiden would be within her reach pretty soon.
Very good, mate. We then move over to the Sunshine Coast program on the Sunday this time. And Smart Meteor's second up here after a fast finishing third over the 1350 at midweek metro level last start. Better suited here up to the mile. Another runner in that category, do you think?
I think so. He's up in grade. He's only a Class 2 horse, and it's a Class 4 race, but he's certainly he's a nice galloper. I think the mile suits. I can just see that I'm hoping anyway, picturing that he's going to get the right run back off the speed there. Caloundra gives him plenty of time to finish his race off. As we saw at Ipswich the other day, he's in good order. He hit the line very strongly. So it's just a matter of the runs presenting themselves at the right time, and I'm sure he'll finish off over the top of them on Sunday.
Yep, interesting to see how he goes up to this more suitable distance. Then move over to race 3, a fillies and mares maiden handicap, where Better Rush has entered here. She, of course, has been she's third up here after recent placings at Kilcoy and Ballina. Just trying to find the right race for her.
Yeah, sure. She's a filly that needs to be placed properly. She's a sprinting filly. We were damn stiff to run into a horse like Rogue Rocker at Ballina the other day. Who'd have thought you go to Ballina and you run into a horse like that? But she was certainly brave to finish second as she did, and she certainly beat the rest of the horses quite comfortably. And Travis Wolfgram was full of praise for her after the run. So she's also nominated for a few other places, and I'll just have to look at the fields and see the acceptance before we commit to where we run her. But she has drawn well on Sunday, but she does have other options available to her. And as I said, I'll just assess the form of the other fields that she'll be in and the barriers, and we'll work it out from there where she goes.
And I guess that's all part of it, isn't it? As far as, you find these right races, but then, you want to give yourself options and nominate for other events, because it's not just necessarily sometimes the right race. As you mentioned, the one at Ballina, there's another stronger horse that's trialled well in Sydney, and, just unfortunate that, high level of competition in the same race on that occasion.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's all about placing your horses, knowing their ability and knowing where they're at fitness-wise, and I'm a great believer in trying to give my horses confidence and get a win under their belts to get a bit of confidence into them before they come to town. And this filly, she's on that path at the moment.
Very good, mate. Then we move over to the Kathy Munstone Royal Sheen, who's back in trip here to the 1,400 metres. Obviously, we touched on previously, had a groundbreaking win at Kilcoy over the 1,500, stepped up to the 1,690, but I take it you believe the drop back in trip may suit the horse here.
Yeah, I do. And I think riding in quiet will be more advantageous than trying to put him on the speed. His first run back this time around in a 1350 at the Gold Coast was terrific. He come from last and ran third. And just a couple of times I've noticed when we've ridden him back and held him up, he's finished his races off a lot better. Although he did win his maiden up on the speed, He come from well back at Kilcoy, which they don't often do, and was able to round him up quite quickly. So I just feel we'll ride him back and give him a chance early. And I'm sure, we've got the big spacious run in at Caloundra. He'll have plenty of time to make his runs and plot his path through up the fence.
Very good, mate. Well, it's a busy time for the stable. Lots of runners over the weekend and lots of racing, which is an exciting time heading into the summer. So all the best to yourself and Connections. We'll get Al to give some feedback on your performance today, and we maybe do rock, paper, scissors next start.
Yeah, good as gold. No dramas.